Senator Frantz.
Thank you, Madam President, again, very much. I have 4 kids, 3 boys who play contact sports throughout the entire year, and our 5-year-old daughter is a self-proclaimed karate expert. So naturally, we do spend a lot of time in the local emergency room, which brings me to the subject of hospitals and taxes. And I can tell you, Madam President, I got to know our local hospital, like many of you got to know yours over the years, especially if you had kids as rambunctious as ours. But my wife had to go on to bed rest for 101 days, so I sort of lived in the hospital with her for that period of time and got to know this institution very well. This, of course, relates to the hospital tax that's been proposed in the underlying budget here, which, from my point of view, my constituents' point of view, and certainly from the hospital's point of view, is just an absolute travesty. It's essentially a zero-sum game that distributes the tax proceeds from this taxing scheme throughout the hospital system and brings in some federal revenue, yes, and in that sense it's not a zero-sum game. That goes into the general fund, but within the hospital industry, what it does is incredible to this wonderful institution, which is approaching 110 years old. We know it's a difficult business. It's very competitive. And with everything that's happened in southwestern Connecticut and southeastern New York in that area with hospital closures, the burden that this hospital has been able to pick up for everybody who shows up from all demographic backgrounds is remarkable. And during that 101-day stay at the hospital, I got to know this place. It's one huge family that are totally devoted to health care and delivering the best possible health care that they possibly can to their customers and patients. They do a super job at it. I have an amendment, Madam President. I believe the clerk is in possession of it. It's Amendment 5746. Would the clerk please call it?
Mr. Clerk?
5746, which will be designated Senate Amendment Schedule J.
Senator Frantz.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Mr. Clerk. I move adoption and seek to summarize.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Simply what this amendment does, 5746 Amendment J, is to eliminate sections 145 and 145 to 149 in the underlying budget bill, which effectively gets rid of the hospital tax as proposed by the governor and OPM. And I would strongly urge you to think about this, because the loss to Greenwich Hospital would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $7 million, which would cause irreversible damage. It would cause layoffs. It would harm 108 years worth of really, really hard work to build this into one of the great healthcare institutions in the state of Connecticut that has done everything right. Let's not punish a winner. Let's not make it into a loser. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Will you remark?